So the first thing I want to talk about is Fizban, which we talked about Fizban last time, and we've been talking to him about him a lot when he's in the book, the first book. But he's just such an interesting character, and it's got a lot going on with him, especially now that he's back from the dead mysteriously. So we keep having to come back to him because he keeps having more things revealed about him, more things going on, more things centered around him. So the biggest thing that I want to discuss for this is that now we seem to be officially sure. That makes, seems kind of crazy, but that we're saying it that way, but we're officially sure that there is more to Fizban than it seems. Because I know, like, in book 1, we kept talking when we first met him, that he had moments and glimpses of, like, how does he know this? Who is he really? Is he really just this old, befuddled buffoon, as he seems to be, or is something actually going on behind the scenes that he's not portraying to us? And now we know for sure, even though he came back from the dead, and he did show Tass that portrait that he then made him forget, and those kind of things, we weren't really sure. Or at least when I've been reading it before, I was never totally sure. Like the first time reading it, things that came up with him really surprised me. Especially with him coming back from the dead. That was one of the things that really surprised me. And things that happened with him in the future really surprised me. So, I don't know about you guys, if you, as the first time readers, if you are surprised by anything that's happening or officially getting confirmed here that he obviously knows more than he's saying, and if that's a surprise to you or not. But I feel like this is the first moment that you really, truly feel like you know that there's something more to Fizban, and you just know that you don't know what it is. Because not only is he mad that Silvara is there, which, how does he know Silvara? How does he know who she truly is? Because it is clear that he knows the truth about her before we do. How does he have all this knowledge about the dragons? Because obviously he knew, since he knew she was a dragon, he knew about her oath and was saying that she was breaking her oath. How does he know about everything that's happening? Why is he mad about it? What could be so, what knowledge could he have that would make it so that he would be so upset about Silvara breaking this oath? It's even at this point, it seems like he even knows the future, because Tass asks him when he's going to see his friends again, and he pinpoints a time when he's like, oh, you're going to see them at this point in time, so it's fine. How would he possibly know that Tass or the rest of the companions are going to be at a certain place at a certain time? How does he know this? So, even though we really don't know who Fizban is, we are now officially sure. I think that's a funny, I don't know why I keep saying officially sure, but it just seems like the right thing to say. That he is actually something much bigger than a befuddled old buffoon who can't remember his name. So, he's just a wonderful character. I would really love it in the comments below if you told me what you thought about Fizban, if you like him, if you don't like him, if you just absolutely love him like I do, if you just think that he is so interesting and that you just want to know who he is. For those who do know who he is, and have read all the books or have read ahead or whatever else, please do not spoil anything for them with your comments on whether you like him or not. But yeah, I love his character. I love him more and more every time I read about him, especially once I know who he is and I've been rereading it. It makes it even better every single time. So, but it's also just because I know who he is, I know what's up, it doesn't take away from the experience of reading it. I've read these books, like I've mentioned, several times, 6 or 7 times at least. And every time I still love him. And I still get the same feelings and the same mysteriousness from him and the same everything, even though I know exactly what's going on with him and exactly who he is and exactly why he knows all this information. So for those of you who do not know, enjoy not knowing and enjoy the mystery of it. See if you can figure it out. If you have any wild guesses about him, leave it down below for me. And for those of you who already know, how do you feel about him rereading him? How do you still get the same vibes from him? Do you still love him the same amount? Does it just make it even richer and more wonderful knowing who he is, just like I feel? Or what is your thoughts and opinions on that? Does it change? Do you wish that you could go back to not knowing? Yeah, so let me know down below. I would love to have a discussion on Fizban with you, especially since him and Tass are now together, and they are two of my favorite characters, as I've mentioned before, of all time. So, sorry, I kind of sidetracked there with my love of Fizban and discussing him and his how you feel about knowing him versus not knowing who he is. So let me get back to the point of what I was trying to say initially with talking about Fizban, especially with not knowing who he is at this point and knowing that there's something beyond what we're seeing. So this is really important from a reader standpoint and an author standpoint. And so as those aspiring writers out there, it's really important. What makes this character so good, and at least to me makes him so memorable and wonderful and great, is how he is presented, how he is slowly built, and how we get these little breadcrumbs all the way through number 1 and not really most of number 2, considering he's not in most of number 2, but just the idea that we had of him and the small mentions that we've had of him previously when they thought he was still dead, where the authors leave you just these little breadcrumbs, these little moments, these little I'm like drawing a blank on how to describe it, what I'm thinking, but how we just are slowly being led to see little bits of him, but how the timing at this moment, at the almost not the end of book 2, I mean, we've got still about a fourth left, but where we just suddenly know, even though we don't know who he is, we just know now that there's something more to him. And so all these breadcrumbs are slowly leading up to this moment where we're like, yes, who is this? And it's just building up this character. We're building him through these little bits and pieces and trying to signal off not only the characters but the readers. And the writers really are trying to make him mysterious and exciting. And especially now that we know that there's something more to him, it's like, you really just want to know. The writer is giving the reader, and as a reader, this is what's exciting about the character, is they're giving us something to look forward to, giving us a mystery to try and figure out, giving us these breadcrumbs, and then revealing to us that we don't know everything, and now we're still left being like, but we have no answers, and we want answers. We want to know who this is. We want to know where he's going. We want to know what is happening. So, from a writer's point, it's to make exceptional characters like this, it's really all about the timing. It's all about the misdirection. It's all about the way that you are presenting this character to the audience and making sure that the timing is correct, that you drop the hints when they're needed, you see how to set them up by slowly leading them to the point where the readers are either going to know fully completely what who and what they are, or that you're just going to be like, hey, we're going to present this to you and show you, hey, you were right, he's more than we thought, but you're not going to know for a while, like we are with Fizban. And as a reader, it really just is an exciting experience to know that you don't know all the answers, and it gives you something to look forward to and gives you a character that you're just dying to see, especially because this character is now a wild card. Well, sure, he was always kind of a wild card because he was a wild person, and you were just like, what are you on? Like, you don't know what you're doing. We don't know what's going on. He's just making a mess of everything. And so he kind of already was a wild card for the characters. But now it's especially a wild card. All the characters, well, not all the characters, but the characters in Lorana's group know that there's something going on, that he has been a completely different person. There is something up with Fizban. And as readers, we're like, we don't know what he's going to do because we don't know who he is. We know that he's not really that bumbling idiot. We know that there's something more that he knows, and he's obviously going off rogue a little bit with Tass, where he's doing his own stuff now. So he's much more of a wild card, and now we're going to look for him. At least I know I will be. I'm sure many of you will be too if you feel the same, is that you're going to be waiting and watching and wondering what is going to be up with him, and wondering what's he going to do. So now he's completely unpredictable. We don't know what's going on. We don't know what his game is. We don't know. And that is what is wonderful about Fizban, is not only is his personality great with him being that bumbling idiot, at least in my opinion. I love that about him. And especially when you know that he's not that, you find it even funnier that he's acting this way. As well as intrigued why he's acting this way. Why does he want no one to know who he is and what he's capable of? Why are we given all these hints? Where are they taking us? Where is Fizban taking us? Obviously, he's an important person. But who exactly is he, and when are we going to find out? And yeah, it's just the wonderful part about reading a character like this is the mystery that comes with them. Okay, let me know with all that if I kind of got off topic and wasn't very clear about what I was trying to get across. I thought when I backtracked and came back, I did a little bit better job on recentering, but I know I also have a lot of my love of Fizban in there. So let me know if you want me to clarify anything, if you want me to have more of a deeper discussion about this and what I was trying to get at with talking about Fizban, other than just my love for him and the excitingness of knowing that he's more than what he seems. Let me know.